Hey everyone, this is Daryl Christopher coming at you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. This video is my comic book haul review, episode 7, part 5, where I will review X-Files season 10, issue 21 to 25, the 2015 annual, and issue number 1 of season 11 of the X-Files. So there's a lot happening here. I have a lot of issues to review. I have a huge number of stacks of comics on my dining room table. I'd like to have my dining room table back to eat rather than keep my comic books and get my comic books in the comic book long boxes after I review them. So I'm going to try and chip away at them while I have time as I await the decision on whether I get the new contract or not. So wish me luck. Positive vibes. I give you my positive vibes and things in your life, so let's hope for the best, everyone. Anyways, let's get down to it and see what we have here. And this is issue number 21 of season 10 of the X-Files. You have to love from IDW the subcovers where it's like a photo of the actors. We have Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. As you know, played by David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. And like in the videos of the show back in the day when everyone watched it, is that you're seeing them at their prime and their peak. So amazing stuff. I really liked this series because I really loved the X-Files a lot, and I felt it really kind of unjust that we never got to see you know, X-Files investigations in the age of the internet where secrets hide in plain sight. There's a multitude of conspiracy theories going on in the world, and seeing Scully and Mulder operate in a world of high-speed internet and globalization and you know, cell phones that are smartphones rather than the aim being trying to get a smaller phone or the ones with antennas and that flipped apart and were really look so retro and obsolete and so 90s these days. So let's get down to it and see what we have here for issue number 21. And in this issue here, as you can see, we have a mysterious figure. You'll find out who he is a little bit later in the review. Keep in mind, for everyone, if you don't want to know what happens in these issues, there are spoilers all the way through this review, so don't watch if you don't want to know. Stop now if that's your concern. So we have a situation here where a very powerful figure having some words with the cigarette smoking man, and basically he has outmaneuvered the new syndicate and is even more powerful than them. So a lot is going on. A lot is getting set up. We have Mulder and Scully enjoying some quiet time. And we have a situation where someone who was part of a past investigation by Mulder blames him for the wrongs in her life, and she commits suicide. But what we learned later on was that this woman had already died in 1991, so a lot of weird things happening here. And we also find out, there's the, yeah, there it is, right there. She hung herself in 1991. So something weird is going on, but it wouldn't be weird if it wasn't the X-Files. I mean, this is why the Bare Naked Ladies, you know, sang about them and said that, you know, watching X-Files with no lights on is a big thing. It's all about intrigue. It's all about mystery. It's all about suspense. So what we have here is the beginning of the Elders storyline. This is what is wrapping up the road to the end of season 10. And I have to say, I give the season 10 of X-Files an 8 out of 10. IDW is always solid. It's great that they've kept the X-Files alive, especially now that they're coming back to television. So great stuff. Now let's look at issue number 22 here. We have some flashbacks to the past to begin the issue. And as you know, these are the aliens that can get killed with a the needle weapon to the back of the neck, and once they die, they turn into ooze. So very interesting stuff here. This is, of course, is Elders number 2, issue number 22 of X-Files season 10, and this is where everything starts coming together with our grown up Gibson Praise. He's the one who is becoming the new puppet master of the shadow government and the mother of all conspiracies. He's the one that is manipulating things because he has become such a powerful person in terms of his abilities. Even the syndicates that can't stop him, government can't stop him, no one can stop him. He's got the intellect, he's got the powers. We see here that he has a huge cloning facility. As you can see, he's cloned the cigarette smoking man. So this goes way beyond what's happened on the show before, and basically we saw him during the show as a young child that needed to be protected, and now he's risen into adulthood as this nefarious figure. We don't know if he's good or evil because even the concepts of good and evil are beyond him. What he's doing is what he's doing because he can. And we have here Mulder speaking with his cloned father, and we also have in the story that the memories of the person were embedded in their DNA, and as they're cloned they remember their previous life. So we have things going on, and then we have at the end, we have the cigarette smoking man meeting up with Scully, and he's basically saying how is it going to be even possible to stop Gibson Praise. So very interesting stuff. And that brings us to issue number 23. This is the subcover. This is a photo cover of the character Gibson Praise when he was a young boy who needed the help of Mulder and Scully. So this is what he looked like on the show. And then in the comic book, you see him all grown up with all the powers. So this here, issue number 23, this is the subcover, and this is part 3 of Elders. And in this issue, we have the action go to Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. That, of course, is the notorious prison where they hold the most vile jihadists. And we have Mulder escaping that prison. And we have a lot going on. We have more action with the cigarette smoking man there. And we have a situation here where we find out the woman who made the accusations is an alien working towards their agenda. She's killed with the needle weapon to the back of the neck. We have some conversation between Mulder and Gibson. And I think Gibson's saying that even though he's at the level he's at, his intentions are good. He's trying to make things better in his own way. And ultimately, he thinks that the only way he can do it is with him basically pulling all the strings in this affair of puppetry, I guess you could say. Here we have in the issue where it's revealed to Scully that Mulder is in Cuba. He's going through a lot. He's basically being broken apart by Gibson in terms of his work with the FBI. He's becoming discredited. There's a lot going on. Basically, in terms of between what the syndicate did to him and what Gibson is doing, basically Gibson is ripping apart his relationship of with the FBI and his work for them. So a lot is going on. He's being, chased and escaping in Guantanamo Bay. I mean, who ever thought we'd see the X-Files in Guantanamo Bay? But welcome to the 21st century, everyone. This isn't the 1990s anymore. So we have that. Here we go. We have issue number 24 here of season 10 of the X-Files, and as you can see, we have an interesting cover with the Visage of the cigarette smoking man, Scully, and the flag of Cuba. How cool is that? So very cool. Let's see what we get down to here. This is, of course, Elders Part 4. And we have Skinner. He's being held hostage. We have Scully arriving in Cuba. And as you can see, a very Cuban scene. The old American cars that were the vehicles of choice and the ones you could buy before the communist revolution there. And that's just a typical kind of scene you'd see in Cuba. We have a team up between the cigarette smoking man and Mulder in their escape from Guantanamo Bay. And we have Scully encountering Gibson in Cuba, and he's going to lay it all down for us. So very cool stuff. That wraps up issue number 24, and that gets us to issue number 25. The final issue of season 10. Hard to believe that you could have an entire season of a television show in comic book form, but I collected every issue of this. I've been with it since the start, so it's pretty amazing to get here where things are wrapping up. And IDW is well aware of what's going to happen on the television reboot, where we're going to see new X-Files episodes coming to TV land, so a lot is going to happen. So very cool stuff. They pretty much said so in the issue. So as you can see, it's got the nice kind of thick cover. This is a meaty issue here, and basically what we have Gibson explaining what he's doing with all his planning and what he's doing, using his powers for, to Scully. This, of course, is Elders Part 5, and now we know that Fox Mulder has become a wanted man. As you can see here on the smartphone, there's a $10,000 reward for his capture, and things are going crazy. So we have him in Cuba, and basically he's trying to get back. We have the lone gunman, and basically they're trying to get their way in, hack their way in to make a connection. Here we have a little bit more of Guantanamo Bay. We have more interaction between Scully and Gibson. We see the clone of the cigarette smoking man seeing the clone of himself. That's rather interesting. Here you see it's come down to this. Scully has taken her shot at Gibson. Will it stop him? Someone that powerful? It's not enough. And things are definitely heating up. This here is probably the best picture of the entire issue. That's what the fans have always wanted to see. You know, a romantic relationship between Mulder and Scully, and we have them sharing a kiss. We have at the end, things have gotten crazy. Gibson is all powerful. We don't know what's going to happen with his aims and goals, and what he's really doing, and how he can exist being so beyond good and evil. We have Mulder totally discredited from the FBI and a wanted man, and we have Scully coming to his aid and trying to clear his name and get him out of trouble. So we have a lot going on. That wraps up the season 10 series. And what we have here is the X-Files 2015 annual. And this issue is basically, like, as you can see too, it's got the very thick cover. And as you can see here, basically the premise of this story is Mulder and Scully crash a high school reunion to investigate the case of a man who has been said to control and transfer minds from one another. So very interesting stuff. We have Mulder assuming a fake identity of someone that they believe to be dead by his classmates. We have a bit of a murder investigation. We have an investigation into what powers the person they're investigating had, what were the motivations, what really happened in the past, and it all comes down to the truth in the end. So very good annual, not too bad at all. I'm not going to give the X-Files my highest mark, where like I'm going to give them a 9 or 9.5, but it certainly is way beyond a 7 out of 10, and it deserves that A- of being, you know, pretty good, pretty excellent, and it's been enjoyable. I was a fan of the X-Files back in the day. This year I rewatched season 1, and when I can afford it, I'm going to try and get more seasons of the show to get back into it. I'm looking forward to the new episodes coming to television, and this will get us set up with here you have issue number 1 of season 11 of the X-Files, and let me show you something. We have, you know, what is it with the Tom Selleck style of disguise? We have Mulder in disguise, and his disguise is a mustache. Like, really? Are people gonna not know who you are because you have facial hair? Like, are people like, is it the same thing as people not figuring out that Clark Kent and Superman are the same guy? So, you know, kind of a stretch here, but, you know, I'm not surprised. It's Fox Mulder. This is kind of cool. We have, you know, Scully using email. Very cool email address. Have to get a look at that. And, you know, compared to the 90s, you know, it's all about the high-speed internet now. It's not like you're waiting 2 minutes for a picture to load. Everything is instant. So that's our world today. But back in the day when people used to log on the internet through their phone lines, you had to wait for pictures. You had to wait for text to load. It was super terrible before they got things, you know, fixed with it. So, yeah. That was when the internet, like, the internet was around for a few years, but it didn't start taking off until the speed got brought up. So that's a little bit of history for you millennials out there. We had it rough when we were kids. As you see, we have Gibson here. He has a mission where he's asking Mulder to retrieve technology from a communications satellite that crashed. And we have Gibson controlling a wolf who's attacking those who are out to stop Mulder or bring him in as the one man that he's become. We have Scully trying to clear his name and set the balance right, set the record straight with the FBI. We have the lone gunman helping out Mulder and looking into the Cantus online. And then at the very end, we have a little bit of hope that Mulder's going to get everything sorted. So that'll set things up for issue number 2 next month of X-Files season 11. So that's it, everyone. That was for you Comic Book Haul Review, Episode 7, Part 5, X-Files Season 10 review of issues 21 to 25, the 2015 annual, and the issue number 1 of Season 11 of the X-Files. Thank you, everyone, for watching. From my awesome subscribers, fellow comic book lovers, people bored at work and willing to watch anything, and people who just love random YouTube videos and love YouTube videos. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned for more videos right here on the Reverie Soul YouTube channel. I'm your host, Daryl Christopher. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.